we're hearing that Attorney General nominee, former Congressman Matt Gaetz, has withdrawn his nomination for Attorney General. But Dana, this comes about 45 minutes after we reached out to him about some new reporting that we have. And this new reporting is that there was a second sexual encounter between him and an underage woman at a party in 2017. Now, I have covered the investigation into allegations that the congressman may have had sex with a minor for 4 years now. And Dana, this was the first time that we had learned that the underage woman had testified to a second sexual encounter. And I learned from my sources, along with our colleague Sarah Ferris, that she had testified to this to the House Ethics Committee. Now, I want to read our story. Again, this announcement that he is withdrawing comes as a bit of a surprise. We reached out to him 45 minutes ago to give him a chance to weigh in on this story. And again, his withdrawal comes just a short time after CNN reached out about our reporting that there was a second sexual encounter that the alleged underage victim testified to the House Ethics Committee. Now, let me read you our reporting, Dana. The alleged underage victim has testified that both of these sexual encounters, the one that we always knew about and this new one, occurred at the same party in Florida in 2017. And Dana, I am told that she gave consistent testimony in both the ethics investigation and a civil lawsuit in Florida. Now, I want to note that the Justice Department investigated these allegations that Gaetz had sex with a minor and did not charge him. He has always denied wrongdoing, and we reached out to him 45 minutes ago to get a reaction to this. He did not offer us a statement. Instead, we're seeing that he is now withdrawing. Now, I want to note that what's notable about this testimony is that the underage woman testified that the second sexual encounter also involved another adult woman. Now, the adult woman has denied that there was a threesome. Gaetz has always denied that he had sex with a minor. But of course, this new reporting was coming as President-elect Trump was trying to shore up support on Capitol Hill to get Gaetz confirmed. I think this is also important, this new reporting, because it reminds people that there are things about this investigation that are still not public. But again, we reached out 45 minutes ago to Gaetz's team to tell them that we were going to go public with this story. We told him it would go public around 12:30, and before he got a statement, he announced that he is withdrawing from his Attorney General nomination.
Wow. Wow, we were waiting for that reporting, Paula. We were on pins and needles here, quietly.
I had it all typed up, yeah.
Quietly in the studio, waiting for you to come with that reporting. And this is certainly huge, huge news that Matt Gaetz, we had just been talking about the question of whether he would do this, given the fact that this was very much a pick that Donald Trump wanted. And I just want to read actually I'll read all of Matt Gaetz's tweet where he just announced that he was withdrawing. I had excellent meetings with senators yesterday. I appreciate their thoughtful feedback and the incredible support of so many. While the momentum was strong, it is clear that my confirmation was unfairly becoming a distraction to the critical work of the Trump-Vance transition. There is no time to waste on a needlessly protracted Washington scuffle. Thus, I'll be withdrawing my name from consideration to serve as Attorney General. Trump's DOJ must be in place and ready on day one. And he says that he remains fully committed to helping Donald J. Trump. I mean, wow. This is really, really big news. And we knew that this was, I wouldn't even say a possibility, I would say a probability, given so much quiet opposition by Republicans. The fact that there was more information coming out. Paula Reed and our colleagues went to them with that information. We were going to report it, and
he's out.
He's out.
This is going to be a huge relief to a lot of Senate Republicans who did not want to have this debate, who did not want to face the first sort of chance to show whether or not they were going to stand up to Donald Trump on something that they disagreed with or not. And it's a blow, certainly, to President-elect Trump for having seen his nominee not last, 2 weeks? But this will clear the way for the Senate Republicans to have somebody at the top who they can support.
Yeah,
also, I would take issue with one thing he said in that tweet, which
just
is
one thing.
that
it was a scuffle.
One thing stood out to me is that he said the momentum was strong.
Oh,
I think the reporting shows very clearly that the momentum was not strong.
or
his
otherwise he would
nomination.
still be the
100%.
the nominee. Manu, I want to go to you on Capitol Hill. I know this just broke, but what are you hearing so far? I'm guessing the relief that Jeff Mason was just describing.
Yeah, no question about it. I mean, there were a lot of Republican senators who were concerned about defying Donald Trump, but just really could not get themselves to supporting Matt Gaetz's nomination, not just because of the allegations in the House Ethics Committee report, some of which have been leaked to the press, but just about his style, the way he's battled with Republicans and Democrats alike. There are concerns about whether he can actually do this job. And just there's just a real belief among many Republicans that I spoke to that even if they went through this process, they'd be expending so much political capital to get him across the finish line. And that may not have been, it still might not be enough to vote yes on this confirmation that ultimately would go down. That made it so complicated to see how he could ultimately get through. It is still going to catch a lot of people by surprise because Gaetz was on Capitol Hill all day yesterday, meeting with senators, trying to urge them to keep an open mind through this confirmation process. They successfully delayed that House Ethics Committee report. It'll be an interesting decision now whether that House Ethics Committee report still see the light of day, even though Matt Gaetz has resigned from Congress. That committee is still planning to meet in early December to decide how to proceed. And one other thing, Dana, Matt Gaetz resigned from his House seat in this Congress. He said in that letter to the House that he would not serve in the next Congress, although he was just reelected to that seat for the next Congress. Does he change his mind and decide to stay in his seat over the next 2 years? That's a question I just put out to Mr. Gaetz. We'll see how he responds to that question. But, of course, if he does, that could bring the Ethics Committee investigation back to light. So a huge development here, and no question about it, a big sigh of relief for many Republicans who did not want to vote for Matt Gaetz.
Yeah, no question. All right, let us know if you get more reaction. Manu, I want to go to West Palm Beach. Kristen Holmes is there at her post reporting on the Trump transition. Kristen, what are you hearing?
Yeah, no official word yet from President-elect Donald Trump or his team, but I can tell you, Dan, I spoke to a number of people this morning who were talking about just how far they were going to have to go to try and get Gaetz confirmed. How much political capital was Donald Trump going to use? And there was concern among those close to the former president, now president-elect, that they could not get a number of other cabinet picks through if he used all of his political capital on Matt Gaetz, which was seeming like it might be the outcome of all of this. Now, of course, there were questions as to whether or not Donald Trump would react or change the direction that he was going in once that ethics report came out, if it did, in fact, come out. But we have been told that Donald Trump was all in on Matt Gaetz, that he had said over and over again that he was going to give him his support. It was the most important pick. But for those around Donald Trump and the people who wanted to get some of these other not as controversial, but still slightly controversial picks across the finish line, they were worried about then being a larger holdup because of the fact that he was expending so much political capital on Matt Gaetz. Now, I will tell you, I did talk to a number of sources close to Gaetz after those meetings with those Republican senators who said they were cautiously optimistic about how it went. However, when you look at what some of those senators said afterwards in terms of transparency, in terms of essentially warning Gaetz that there could be more stuff, that he needed to be transparent coming forward, it was unclear if their reaction to this, again, cautiously optimistic, was the same reaction that Gaetz himself or those senators were having after they actually sat down with Gaetz. But one thing that is just so interesting about all of this is the fact that Donald Trump had been hammering down behind closed doors that this was the most important pick to him, that he believed that this was something he had to stand by. He wanted Matt Gaetz to be the quote-unquote effective communicator. Now, obviously, we'll see we're back to the drawing board on Attorney General. We know that when it came to Matt Gaetz, he wasn't even on the original shortlist. It was decided on a plane ride from West Palm Beach or Palm Beach to D.C. and back, and that's when that announcement came. So we are going to have to play this out now. But now there are more critical positions, including Secretary of Treasury, that have yet to be filled. It is going to be clear this is going to be something they're going to turn their full attention to, because remember, Dana, overall, this is their number one thing. This is what Donald Trump believes the most important cabinet position is.